What I'm going to teach you, if you guys have been studying my presentations, I've added some stuff to it that you're going to have some new stuff that I've discovered that I'm doing now that I think is going to really help you guys, okay? First thing, I'm going to repeat this because I want you guys to really understand how much I believe in this, is that this will work 100% of the time if you guys put it into practice. Now, I'm not saying you're going to sell 100% of your clients, but it's not going to be because of the presentation. The reason, I was telling Catherine this yesterday, this presentation gives order. When you have order, when you're working with a prospect, it's not chaotic. It's not going back and forth, this, that, and you're going to know. You're going to follow a flow. If anybody, think about yourselves. When you connect with people, it's when everything is in order, not when things are chaotic. So this presentation is going to really give you guys, for the newest person here to the most tenured person. You know, one of the things that I enjoyed talking with Brian, you could tell Brian wants to be great. You know, that's how I was. He reminds me a lot of where I was when I was first getting into this business. You know, and I encourage that for all of you. You know, Brian, myself, all the people in the inner circle are no different than the person who has never even spoke to a prospect yet. So let's start here. First off, the introduction. Now, I always tell people that the whole presentation, every step of it is just as important as the next. I want you to put your mind in an image of like we're going up a flight of stairs, because this is what we're doing with the clients, okay? First thing is the introduction, is we want to really start with, if I was talking to Brian, for example, I'd say, Brian, thanks for meeting with me. What I'd like to do today is find out a little bit about you, what you're currently doing, what your goals are, and what you're looking to achieve. And then I'll go over the details of my coaching program with you, and then we could see if it's a good fit. Now, why do I do this? Okay. Number one, I'm giving order to the prospect and saying this is what to expect. And by the end of our presentation, whether you're on the phone or in person, I'm going to ask for money. I'm being very transparent. So there's not going to be this thing, oh, I didn't know you were going to expect me to have an answer for you today, okay? Now, the second part is we're getting in their wants. This is the most important part that you're going to use throughout the whole presentation, okay? So when I'm asking, so Brian, tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you currently doing? What are your goals, and what are you looking to achieve? The only thing that I'm focusing on is their wants. I'm looking for trigger words. And you're going to want to keep a notebook with you to write down what those are. As you get more experience, you'll be able to pick those up without doing that. You know, but for the newest person, for sure, and the people who aren't getting the results they want just yet, you want to make sure you're writing down these trigger words. So let's say Brian said to me, I want to improve my business by 500,000, okay? I would write on the notepad 500,000, business. These are the trigger words that I'm thinking that I'm going to use throughout the presentation. And I'll obviously do something around money. I'll want to ask questions around money, okay? So even in this part, I'll say, Brian, let me ask you a question. Why do you want to earn 500,000? What's the purpose of it? And then I'll wait for him to respond. Then I'll have a follow-up question. What's the most you've earned in a year? Let's say he said 100,000, okay, just for the sake of this. Well, if he's telling me 100, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I already know my value points that I'm going to teach him, and I'll get to that in a second. But these are critical questions that you have got to find out when you guys are speaking with prospects, okay? And let's say you get a prospect who says, I don't want to tell you. Say, that's fine. Don't even tell me. Just make it up. You know, I don't even care. Like, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for you. Like, educate them on that, okay? Now, when we're using these wants, we want to use these wants throughout everything we're doing now. So now, I want to become the expert in Brian's mind, okay? So here is where I coach him for 5-10 minutes. You know, and I'll say, Brian, let me tell you, first off, all of our results are a direct reflection of what's going on inside of us. And until we change the inside, the outside doesn't change. And 96 to 98% of all of our results, perceptions, and behaviors are subconscious. 2 to 4% are conscious. Now, I've gotten questions about that, okay? If you guys want the source of that, I went to a seminar on brain plasticity. So you guys, if somebody asks you, that's what it is, because somebody's asked me through Corey before, so I just wanted to share that with you, okay? Anyway, I'll say, Brian, right now, you're earning $100,000 and you want to earn $500. So let me get this straight. You're committed to earning $500, is that correct? He says yes, okay? And I said, okay. So here's what I have to show you so you understand. It's not going to happen if you keep doing what you're doing. What we have to do is shift what we call a paradigm. And I'll ask them, because some of your clients probably have no idea what a paradigm is. And I try to dumb it down in the most simplest terms to get them to understand. And I'll either say it's a multitude of habits or it's your belief system. You know, let's assume Brian doesn't know what a paradigm is. So make it as simple as possible for them so they can understand it, okay? Then I'll say, Brian, right now you're not earning 100 because that's what you want to earn. You're earning that because that's what you know how to earn. And then I go and I say, you and I both know that you're worth more than $100,000 a year. Would you agree? And then he'd say yes. And I'd say, well, I know that, you know that, but your subconscious doesn't. Now, throughout my coaching that we're going to go over, I'm going to show you by the time we're done on how to create a massive quantum leap in your income. Now, what did I do there, just there? I used suggestion. Where does suggestion go? I want you guys to think of the stick figure for a second. Okay, the top half, bottom half, okay? Suggestion is the most powerful force in the universe. People's minds are open. When I am creating this impact where I'm making myself the expert to the prospect, what it's doing, I've neutralized the prospect's mind, and all that's open is their subconscious. That's the part of you, it's their emotional part. We want to connect from our emotional mind to theirs. So that's why we want to create that value and create significant value at this point. And you guys can do it for 5 minutes. You could do it for 10 minutes, you know. But this is a very important part because if you are not viewed as an expert to them, they're going to shut down. Okay, so really make sure you do this properly. And if you guys, when you review this, really listen to this part, okay? Now, the next part is the overview of the program. Now, when you guys are selling the consultancy program, you're doing 6 months, okay? I want you to put your wants into the overview. And if you put the wants into the overview, guess what you're doing? You're impressing their subconscious. Keep impressing. You're taking their want and turning it into a goal. So now let's say they started without hardly knowing. Now they kind of know. Now they're emotionally involved. Oh, I can do this. They're thinking to themselves. They won't tell you, is this possible? I want to keep really getting involved in this. Now, when I'm doing an overview or when I'm teaching how to do an overview, for you guys, what you want to do, I like going over the whole overview. So I'll say, I want to go over how my coaching works. So my coaching is $6,250 for 6 months. And I am going to be working with you, coaching and facilitating a program that I've been mentored by the best teacher in the world on human potential and success, Bob Proctor. Have you heard of Bob? Okay, let's say they have. If they have, that's easy for you. Let's say they haven't. Well, Bob has been studying and teaching this for 57 years. And let's look at the lineage. Andrew Carnegie mentored a gentleman by the name of Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill mentored one of Bob's mentors, Earl Nightingale. And Earl mentored Bob. So you have over 125 to 150 years of the most successful people in the world who is going to mentor you through me. And so let me go over how the coaching works. Okay, but pay attention. Did you guys notice how I just slipped in the price? Okay, that's really important. Then their mind's off the price. You don't. If you do it and you're doubting the price, what's going to happen is their mind is they've shut off. They're only going to think of the price. So even you do a great presentation, you do that one part, you're gonna miss a key piece. Okay. Now, the way my coaching works is, the first module that I'm going to teach is how to set and achieve worthy goals. So Brian, and keep using their name. Their name is a connection, okay? Always use their name. Repeat their name. Remember that. And I'll say, Brian, so what I'm going to do in the first coaching session is I'm going to show you how to take your 100 and really make sure the 500 is what you really want, because most people are settling. They're saying they want it, but they're going after goals they think they can achieve, not what they really want. And most people don't even understand what goals are. Goals are for us to grow, not for us to get. The second module is the knowing-doing gap. Here is really going to be important, Brian, because I'm going to take you from how to get from 100 to 500. The third module is how to use your mind to create the results you want in your life. You know, we have a conscious and a subconscious mind. And if you're not aware of this, I'm going to teach you so much, and you're going to be so excited every day when you wake up. The fourth module is how to untap one's true potential. Brian, you would agree with me, wouldn't you, that we talked earlier that you're worth more than 100. Now, you're worth a lot more than 500, and I'm not going to fight you to change your goal because I want to help you hit 500 first. But when I get you to 500, you're going to blow past it. You're going to start understanding what your potential is, okay? The fifth module is a trick to staying in charge no matter the circumstances. The sixth module is how to develop yourself into a leader. I am going to show you how to be such an awesome leader. Because do you know anybody who earns 500 who's not a leader? And I'll just wait for them to answer. So it's not a one-sided conversation, okay? And so I'll go through the whole presentation that way, and then I'll add the seventh and throughout the whole program, okay? Now, I want you guys to pay attention. Listen to how I'm talking. See, you guys can repeat what I'm saying exactly, but if you don't do it with the right tone, with the right confidence, you are going to not have the same impact, okay? So I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And don't be so tough on yourself with this, because that's going to come with experience. Like I was telling Bob this morning, I've probably done now at least 25,000 presentations, okay? So I can tell you I wasn't where I am now from even a year ago. So just keep practicing. That's the most important thing. Now, the next phase is what I call the check-in. Okay, this is for me. It's not for the client. I'll say, Brian, I want to ask you a couple questions first. My first question is, does this resonate with you? Let's say he says yes. The second question is, are you willing to invest the time and money to let me really help you achieve 500,000 in the next year? You see how I brought his want right back in? Okay, now here's the point where I want to know, because I'm going to feel his energy. If he goes, kind of, or yes, I know, okay, I haven't given him enough value. So I have to go, in my mind, I'm thinking, what is the value that I have to give to connect to him to get him to understand that? Or if he goes, yeah, I'm really excited, that's easy. Let's assume it's middle of the road, and he says, well, yeah, I'd like to do that, okay? In my opinion right there, I'm like, okay, let me stop you right there. You know, and I'll tell him, let me stop you right there. You want to earn 500, right? He says, yes. Well, you cannot just be half in, half out. See, how long, and then I'll ask him a follow-up question, how long have you wanted to earn 500,000? Let's say he said for a few years. Then I use that to my advantage. I'll say, see, this is why you have to do what I'm telling you. You can't be half in and half out. And I'll say, there's a great quote by Dr. Kenneth Blanchard. He says there's a difference between being interested in creating the life we want and being committed. When we're interested, we do what's convenient. When we're committed, we do whatever it takes. We accept only results, not excuses. What did I do there? I'm overcoming objections throughout the whole presentation. I'm not just overcoming them at the end. So I'm overcoming them before they're even communicated to me. So once again, what we're doing is we're putting them at ease. We're neutralizing their mind, okay? Now, then what I like to do is take them deeper, okay? And this is no different than anything I've ever taught you guys before, is I want you to imagine, Brian, you know, I'm using his name once again, okay? I want you to imagine that you were mentored by me, and I was mentored by the best teacher in the world on human potential and success. And you're going to get both of us really mentoring you, because I'm going to be taking you through, and you're going to have my mentors mentoring you too through the videos, okay? And what I do here is, do you notice I'm not using a lot of facts and figures? You know, I'm not going over, okay, you're going to have a 25-minute video here. You're going to have worksheets to do here. Don't sell facts and figures. They don't sell. People want value. They want to be what connects with them emotionally, okay? So then I'll tell them, like, I want you to imagine that you were mentored by me, and I do what I tell you that I'm doing. What do you think your life's going to look like 6 months from now? Let's say he says, I'm not sure. So I'm aware you're not sure. But what do you think it would be? And he said, I just want you to play with me for a second. Open up to possibilities, because you didn't agree to this meeting with me just to get information. You want help. I can tell by what you're telling me. Like, really sell them on why they were even here, okay? So once again, we're using suggestion for them. So let's say he says, yeah, if you do what you're saying you're going to do, it's going to make a humongous impact, right? Okay, well, let me tell you something. It's not just going to make a humongous impact. If you'll do what I tell you for the next 6 months, this is where I said you have to be a product of the product, because belief is so important here. If you do what I tell you for the next 6 months, and if you commit an hour a day for the next 6 months, you will never be the same. How do I know that? Because I went through it. So at this point, I like keeping my stories in my back pocket. I may use it here. Right now, I would probably use it here with this example. Then I'd give my story. And I'd say, let me tell you a story, but I always give a story that relates to Brian's situation, okay? And you guys have a full community of people doing this, and if you guys need stories, I'm more than positive they would help you with it, okay? But I'd say, Brian, let me tell you a story. I can relate to you more than anything, because I used to earn $110,000. That's what I was earning before I got the mentorship. And everything changed for me, and I didn't think it would change. I didn't think anything would change. When I got mentored, my mentor, the same one who's going to mentor through the videos with me to you, he told me that if you do exactly what I tell you, not half, not 3/4, everything's going to change. He said, if you do half of what I tell you, you're going to get half the results. He said, but why would you wait? He said, why would you only do half? And I said to him, will it really work? Because you got to understand, I didn't believe it would work. I didn't believe I could do it because I hadn't been doing it. And I've been trying to do it, Brian, for the last 3 years. And he said to me, until you find out that I'm a liar or I don't know what I'm talking about, then you can come back to me. He said, I don't lie, and I really know what I'm talking about. And in the first year, what happened for me is I eliminated $150,000 in debt. I earned a positive $300,000. And I released 42 pounds of weight. Now, I'm not telling you this to impress you with me. It's to impress upon you. If I can do it, you could do it. Right away, what happened? Right away, I got them in the mindset that they can do it because they can relate to somebody else who was struggling or somebody else who was in a similar situation, okay? Now, I already know here, I will go in for a close. I'll say, now, are you up for doing this? And I don't expect him to say yes. I expect objections, okay? Because I don't know anybody who says just, okay, here's $6,250. You know, they want to make sure. So I do the close early because I want to know where we're at in our presentation. So let's say he says, you know, I got to think about it. And once again, I'd say, okay, I can understand that. Well, obviously, I haven't done a good enough job to communicate with you, Brian. Let's think about this for a second. You've been telling me that you want to get to 500,000, right? You're earning 100,000, and you've been wanting this for 3 years. Now, if you wait on this and you say you have to think about it, what is there to think about? Because what's going to change overnight? What's going to change a week from now? Now, you remember when I was telling you about paradigms? Well, paradigms are a multitude of habits, and they're other people's habits, but what they do is their job is to keep you comfortable. So they're like this con man that's always rationalizing with you. And I'd say, Brian, how many times have you wanted this and went backwards, okay? And I'll share a story that I recommend you guys use this. It's not really a story, it's a situation that happened with Bob and myself. He said, back in December, he said, the biggest thing that holds people back is they let their ideas stay stillborn. And he says, if you don't make a decision within a millisecond, he said, if you delay it, whether it's a minute, an hour, a week, a month, a year, you're telling the universe to keep you stuck in reverse. And I'd say, Brian, do you still want to be stuck in reverse? Don't you think it's time to say enough is enough? And I would do the close there, okay? Now, let's solidify the sale, okay? Let's say Brian says yes. What happens next? You don't want to just say it because you want to prevent the cancellations, okay? Brian, this is where we got to really get them super excited and jazzed up about what's happening. Brian, I'm so excited that you're doing this. I'm telling you, in 6 months, hold me accountable to this. I will give you everything I have. If you just do what I tell you, I guarantee you, you're going to be blown away by where you are. Right there, I just solidified it. Because I'm telling them, listen, hold me accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable. You hold me accountable to do what I'm saying, okay? And if you will do this, you're going to have the person all in from the beginning instead of the people who just pay the money and then you can't hear from them again. And then they say, oh, it was you, this doesn't work, you know? You're putting onus on you, which people respect, and then you're putting onus on them, okay? So that's what I do in all my presentations. Now, I want you guys, when you're reviewing this, think about how many times I planted subtle statements, subtle seeds, how many suggestions that I've made, how I was in control, okay? You want to always be steps ahead of your client, okay? You want to always know what objection is going to come by the answer he's giving, and you're going to get that more by repetition. And I promise you, if you follow this, it's really simple. Okay, some of you might be like, oh my God, can I do this? I promise you, you can, because I didn't know what I was doing when I first started. And I created this from scratch, and I've been fortunate enough to teach this to quite a few people that have created a significant income for themselves, and a lot of them are in this room, you know. So my biggest advice is do exactly what this tells you, and I promise you you'll win in a big way. Thank you.